So I use a really detailed musical language, and I go to great lengths in terms of orchestration, even in texture, to make sure that there's at least the possibility of that detail getting heard. Sometimes I subvert that in terms of duration or in other ways, but I would like to imagine that if you sort of spliced any 1 second moment of my music, you'd be able to spend time with it and pick out all the details. Nothing actually gets physically covered.
I think it's so literal. His music's literal and it's really pure. It is literally that and then that together. I'm not really thinking of anything else.
Right.
There's no hole.
I sort of push the speed of things to an extreme, and actually Kate even will take that further, so as in such a way that she's the only performer I've ever heard play my music where I've actually had to ask her to slow down a bit, like, because it's like impossibly fast, and she's playing it faster than impossibly fast sometimes. You know, I especially at this point, we've been working together for 3 or 4 years at least, and she's played more of my work and spent more time with my work than anyone. And we share a lot of the same priorities. So just as I was talking about this, the fact that I really engage with work on the microcosmic level and really try to establish an intimacy with each and every note, that's exactly how Kate plays, right? And how she learns a piece as a performer. She's all about, you know, what a single chord feels like, and really contemplating the constellation of articulations and dynamics within a single enactment of the hands. So in that sense, she's perfectly, you know, she's just perfect for the work, you know, and our mentalities fit together in that sort of a way. And so I know that where she's coming from is coming from a place that has the same value system as the piece does, right, and as I do for the piece. So if she, in a specific instance, has a different opinion than I do, like, that's her gig. Like, she's playing the piano, like, that's fantastic.
You start with the basics, and I write all my beats in. I work on rhythm for a long time before I do it, and so, because a lot of it's like material on top of each other, and with other pieces there's more interruption. With that one, it's not so bad. It fits quite nicely, but yeah, there's a lot of kind of like that's there and then this is there, and so it's like literally taking a fragment, say with one hand, and just, it'll be say maybe like 2 beats long or something, and I'll work on that until it's about, you've got to get it into the feel, you've got to really feel it, then do the left, and then it's just putting them together but feeling the individuality between them still. It's like, it's allowing everything to have an identity, and keeping it, even when you start sort of playing it together.
And actually in this passage, the pinky is moving down, so the chord is resolving inward, yeah? So you have a few choices. If you want to play both of the notes, you have a bunch of stuff going on actually. If you want to play both the notes evenly, you basically have to play the thumb quieter, okay? Because the thumb it's going to be easier to play the thumb louder than the pinky, just given the physical nature of it. But you have this movement, this inward resolution of the chord, which actually seems to suggest highlighting the note that is in the pinky, the upper note, right? So it's this balancing, for instance, between do I make the pinky, like what if I want to make the pinky louder? I can lean towards the pinky, then the thumb note is going to be quieter, but then I'm highlighting. So you're balancing all these different elements, right, based on the physical situation.
Dynamics are so difficult in Ray's music because it's so exact, plus articulation. And it's so, what's the word, counterintuitive all the time. And you've really got to work on it. It's physical, it's so physical. And I need to use my body and the way I touch a note and the way I use my arm to feel how that dynamic goes. And it becomes a movement thing.
So the piece has all of those elements, like it's 3 parts, a 30-second part, very roughly, a 5-second part, and then a 30-second part. And actually the outer 30-second parts are, with the exception of 2 notes, literally the same music, just moved around. And so that's this exploration of this repetitive element, because there's some stuff that I hear very clearly when I hear the 3rd part as being repetitive, and there's other stuff that I don't. And then there's the added possibility that those 3 parts can be separated on a program. So you could be hearing that 3rd part 10 seconds after that 1st part, or you could be hearing it an hour and a half after that 1st part.